This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here with the owner and founder of Eloping, basically brand new for 2013. Let me ask you first of all, obviously this industry was needing something like this, but what got you involved in it?
I actually eloped myself, and we actually went through a process that we actually got married in less than 2 weeks, the whole process. And I thought that was a really good way to get things going. It's less stress. It was economical to a certain degree, yet it was still very elegant.
It used to be basically people would go off and elope because they couldn't afford a wedding, and that may be the case, but a lot of folks are really taking this as a wiser decision, possibly taking that money instead and putting it on a down payment or possibly starting a family. Is that what you're finding?
Yes, and or a very beautiful honeymoon.
Oh, beautiful honeymoon as well.
Yeah, those, yes. We're still actually looking at the higher end weddings. They're still going to be at your Four Seasons, your Ritz-Carltons. It's just it's faster timeline. This is in 3 months or less. This is also 2 to 12 people, and that's including the bride and the groom. So they're still having these very beautiful weddings. They're just having it in a shorter period of time.
Wonderful. According to costofweddings.com, we're looking at weddings on the average are at the $25,000 mark. I would imagine that you could really put on quite a show for, like you said, a small group for probably a fraction of that price.
Yes, we're talking about like $5,000, and that could include your flowers, that could include your officiant and your photographer, and at your ideal location, whether that's up in the mountains by the sunset, or something like the Four Seasons or the Ritz-Carlton.
Wow. Interesting. Like you said, not only is it a good financial move for folks, but quite honestly, it's not like just putting some paper to an Excel spreadsheet. They want something. They don't want to cut back on no frills. Tell me about some of these elegant destinations people can possibly show up at.
Well, we are all throughout the state of Colorado. So whether you live here in Colorado or you actually live out of state, a lot of people love Colorado. Mile High City, Denver is very beautiful. Of course, we have the mountains, Aspen, Vail. People love destination weddings. What greater place than Colorado?
Everything we're talking about, it's a beautiful landscape out there, and one thing about it, people love a summer wedding, but winter weddings, being a photographer for over 25 years, I've done some beautiful outdoor winter weddings, and nonetheless, they both look wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. Again, your package, what you would like to do, whether it's just you and your spouse to be, or a few friends and family. That's what's going to save you money. It's anywhere from 2 to 12 people, and you're doing it 3 months or less. So you're really taking advantage of the venue that you'd like to have your event at, where they have open spaces, and that's really where you're going to save a lot of the money.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of the site itself, are folks actually going to save money by going to your site more than they would by venturing out on their own possibly? And why is that?
Yes, ease and less traveling time. A friend of mine just told me the horror story of how she actually had to drive to each venue she was interested in just to find their calendar dates, openings.
Speaking of calendar dates, let me ask you this. Obviously, you don't have hundreds of people to worry about to save that date for. So obviously, you're a little bit more lenient on that date as well. Yeah. Does that benefit people, and do they save money in that way?
Yes, people would save money as well as the event itself. They could actually do maybe 2 to 4 weddings in that same day.
Interesting. And so when somebody comes to the site, walk me through the steps. What's going to happen? Are they going to look for a location? Are they going to put a date in? How does it work?
Well, each person is different. So some people are adamant that they're going to get married in the month of May. Okay. So they're maybe looking at an area, as an example, Aspen. And so depending on what their criteria is for their venue, it's either in the mountains or maybe it's at somewhere particular. So it really depends on the individual. And if they want to get married on a specific date, is this venue available? So there's going to be other people that think, oh, well, you know what? I really want to get married at the Little Nell. But I see that there's nothing available for the month of May, so they might move it out to June as an example.
Interesting. So if they're leaning on that day, then obviously there's some savings as well. It seems to me that, quite honestly, with the money that they're saving on the front end there, they could actually afford to pay for the best man, the maid of honor, if a person would actually want to do that.
Yes, they could absolutely do that. There's package deals available for different venues. Some venues are going to offer not just the services of the flowers, the photographer, and the officiant, but also maybe a night stay and or the luncheon or dinner.
Speaking of packages we're looking at here, obviously you're going to try to hit everyone's budget out there. What do you foresee as being one of the smaller end packages, and what can they go up to?
Well, that's a really good question. It's really based on the individual, but I understand what you're asking. It could be anywhere from $500 to actually $25,000. Again, depending on what venue you'd like, your flowers, what did you want to do after the event? Meaning, after you've exchanged vows, did you want to have an event at the actual location? So, it's the sky's the limit.
I think one of the emotional factors involved here is the fact that a lot of times when people plan their weddings, it's very exciting. They get engaged, and then about a year later, the excitement kind of wears off. You said basically you pulled it off in a couple weeks. Did you think that was really fun and it kept the excitement level the whole time?
We were shocked that we actually were able to pull it off. And this is what's given me this great idea to do this business. It can be done. And I tell you, the stress level was much lower, immediately just getting things into place. But with this one pop-stop shop type of website, you're getting the flowers, you're getting the venue, everything's coming together. It's really a relief to be able to go somewhere and find all of the ingredients that you need for your event. We actually got married out of state. So this is a really important thing for people that also are out of state. We got married in the Bay Area and Northern California, and we did that in 2 weeks. And we had a very lovely event right outside the cliff there at the Ritz-Carlton Half Moon Bay.
Wonderful. What has been some of the response from folks as you've shared the idea of the website? What have you gotten?
I've gone to many bridal shows, and all the venues that I've spoken with so far have been very excited about it.
Wonderful. And if there's someone out there who's thinking about clicking on the website there, and if they had any other additional questions, are you available for contact via email?
Yes. I'm available at Diana@eleganteloping.com.
Wonderful. Folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see her website as well as her contact information. Right there on the website, you can just sit down in the luxury of your own home, spend some nights clicking around, and as she said, it will all come together. Basically, that is Elegant Eloping, where you can make your wedding dreams come true your way. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.